Hi. Okay, so yesterday we completed the unit design for Azure monitor data sources. Today we are going to look into the design for Azure monitor logs, log analytics workspaces. So we yesterday itself seen like Azure monitor is a resource which logs the data in Azure monitor log workspace. A workspace is an Azure resource. Okay, well. So it's an Azure resource. So everything in Azure is a resource. You know, whatever you see Azure resource. So Azure resource. You have Azure monitor as a resource that logs the data, Okay. So as it's a workspace. So where you can do your thing, you can can analyze log, so those things. So it's an administrative boundary or geographic location for data storage. The workspace is also a container where you collect and aggregate data. So it basically collects the information that is collects all the information that happens inside your Azure resources. While you deploy one or more workspaces in your Azure subscription, there are several considerations you should understand to ensure your initial deployment follows Microsoft guidelines. The workspace should provide a cost-effective, manageable, and scalable deployment that meets your organizational needs. So, see, whenever you deploy some resources, you always want to know what the plans to which environment you are going to deploy, the location, the scalability, how often you have to require the traffic, the, the, the peak, and the consistent load for your Azure resources. All should be considered before having your own what to say your own Azure monitor logs. And okay, the next thing is availability and latency cost. Availability, latency cost, and immutable storage. Premium. So generally, they will whenever you have a production very Azure environment, you want to use the premium or standard because they will have a greater SLA and they will have more features when compared to the basic plan. Basic plan is kind of like you can check whether the things work. Charge ಇರಲಿಪ್ಪ ಆಯ್ತು ಲೇಟ್ கலர் சாத்திட்டு போயிடு So the premium block storage, okay, vehicle hold policies, hot and cold and archive access status. So time-based retention policies. So kind of like how we are going to have the retention policies, the legal hold policies, etc. Things to know about Azure monitor log workspace. So in our workspace, you can isolate data by granting different. Okay, so if you consider the case, if different people have different access to it, Microsoft recommend different strategies. So you can isolate the data. So I will just do this. Okay, so isolate data. You can do that. These are the characteristics of Azure monitor log workspace, and can how they can contribute to your monitoring the tail vendor traders. Data in Azure monitor logs workspace is organized into tables. Each table stores different kinds of data and has its own unique set of properties based on the resources that's generating the data. Most data sources write to their own tables in Azure monitor logs. Okay, so data in an Azure monitor log workspace is organized into tables. So data in each table store different kinds of data and assets. Okay. So everything is a table, a relational DB kind of thing. Stored as Workspace enable you to configure settings like pricing, tier, retention, data capping based on administrative boundaries or geographical location. With Azure role-based access are that, so we can grant users. So this is what we've seen by granting different users the same point has been navigated. So for each workspace, you can give access to what they can view and what they can't view, because now by seeing basically you want to restrict the log to someone who doesn't we can delete the logs. So you don't want to give the log access to everyone. Workspaces are hosted on a physical clusters. Workspaces are hosted on physical clusters. By default, the system creates and manages these clusters. So it is on physical clusters. Okay. Default system creates and manages these clusters. You will not specify where you want to have the data in that cluster. If your system ingests more than 500 GB of data per day, you create your own dedicated clusters for your workspaces. If you are working for a very large companies where you for per day, consider the case 500 GB of data per day is enormous data. Uh, it's not something like an ordinary business. Even 1 million users, I don't think whether they will create such a number of data per day. You can create your own dedicated clusters for your workspace to support greater control and higher injection rates, right? So things to consider when using Azure Monitor. So what are the things? So here you monitor log workspaces. So here to know. So if you are going to know things you want to know, things you want to consider when using. So it's like the prerequisite, and when using, what are the things you want to consider your access control strategy. Who can again the same thing. Who can, is your company a global company? Do you need a data store? So it's something like if you don't want the data to be seen by all parts of location, you can just stick to that particular location. So people in that location can use it. Thus, your architecture uses Azure. Do you want to avoid outbound data transfer chances by having a workspace in the same region as Azure resources? So it's most about the architecture, the data bound transfer, etc. The system support multiple departments or business group. Each group should access their data. So here the same thing. So consider the case a particular information is not doesn't need to be known to everyone. So here we can have a user specific restriction. So consider development model option. If most IT organizations use a decentralized, centralized, or hybrid model of the architecture. Some have a centralized architecture. Some have a decentralized architecture. Centralized. Every data should be in a particular position, so they can know where it is. Or some may say like no, only this department data can be see. Here we don't want to have every data in. For example, EEA, a European agency. They don't want all. They say that all the data should be stored in their region, but US is not like that. They are very lenient in where they are storing their information. Consider this common workspace deployment models. How to think? Okay, centralize all logs stored in a centralized workspace and administered by a single team. Azure Monitor provides differentiated outputting. In this scenario, it's easy to manage research across the sources and so they are saying, typically they are saying deployment models, centralized or decentralized, hybrid models is key things. And access mode. So plan for how your users can access as a user, whether they can access the Azure Monitor log workspace, etc. I don't think whether the users here is developers or testers. I don't know why the logs of that organization, logs of the application should be used by the users. Maybe we need to think more on that part. Considered, okay, so it is Azure context, okay, recommendation, something they are giving centralized team application. Okay, see here, teams, role-based access control, so team is centralized team, team which sits and check all the logs, central admin, they are the owners for everything, so they own the IT managed subscription, like a shared one, or both are shared. See, they can able to access this and this, but application team can't able to access this one. So this is what I'm trying to say. A log is known because they doesn't want to know about the entire IT team things. They might have 4 to 5 teams, and only 2 teams can have this access. But the central IT team have the whole access. So it is based on our role-based access because these are central admins and they are the owners for the managed subscription, also the managed subscription for them. At the end of the application team, so app team 1 will have this information around resource group information. App team 2 will have this resource group alone. So this is what we they meant in the RBAC, and they also meant in the access control strategy. So what whether the application team might sit in India, the centralized team may sit in UK or US, but they will have all the access to in a global level. So those things and all comes under the Azure Model Log Workspace, where we are logging and where we are monitoring, etc. The workspace is not constrained by data sovereignty or regulatory compliance. It doesn't need to map to the regions where your agents are deployed. The organization security entity can take advantage of the improved integration, Azure access management, and more security control. All resources, monitoring solutions, and insights like application app insight version or configure forward or configure to forward any character log into IT organization, centralize the shadow. See, this is what we meant. All resources, monitoring solution, insights like app insights, all will be go into 2 places. One is the centralized IT workspace and their own IT. So app team will have their own data. So but the thing is they can also access. They are trying to say that only will forward the collected data. They forward the collected data. So this is app insights. This app insights data is forwarded into the centralized IT managed subscription. So this is what they are saying. Log data from the supporting infrastructure apps are maintained by different teams is also centralized. Okay. Users on each team are granted access to logs for resources for which they have given access. After you deploy your workspace architecture, you can enforce the same model on Azure resources with Azure policy. You can define policies and ensure compliance with your. So they are saying like you can create your own Azure policy. By using Azure virtual machines or virtual machine scale set, you can use existing policies that evaluate workspace compliance and the report results are customized to remediate if not compliant. Okay, so yeah. This is it for the day. So we saw about the monitor, Azure monitor logs, how we can create a workspace and we can, so each workspace will have their own access. So that's it. So that's the reason we can have individual access and the global access also based on role-based access. We can, immutable storage, availability, latency. So it depends upon the organization needs. You can, have the deployment policies. Who can access those policies and all. They isolate data by time. So in a workspace also the main thing is you can isolate the data. Data stored into a table. Second point. A workspace enabled to configure settings like pricing, data retention, data cabin with administrative boundaries and geographical boundaries. So depend upon the administration, you can define that. With the Azure role-based, so as we see, IT team will have the complete access, whereas the application team will not have that complete access. Also on a physical cluster, so we can have it on a physical cluster, and if it is more than 500 GB, you can have your dedicated clusters. Things to consider. So like it is prerequisite to consider monitor logs, and when you are using monitor log, you can also consider this. So based on our role-based access control, who want to access what type of data, workspace based policies. Okay. Deployment model options, can centralize, decentralize, hybrid. Okay, so those things not you can define it. And workspace context, resource context. These things are there. And consider state recommendations. So what are the recommendations they are saying? So team role-based access, Azure monitor logs. You can forward the app insights data into the centralized IT manager subscription. The workspace is not contained constrained by data sovereignty or regulatory compliance. It depends on what you want to share with other teams. You can have your dedicated logs. Yeah, that's it for the